The world is in crisis. Nations brought to the brink, the economy on the edge of collapse. There's only one thing that can save us all. And if you find out what it is, please let us know. But in the meantime, we're going to do the show. This is Don't Panic, episode number 269, recorded March 23rd, 2020, sheltered in place. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this disease-free episode of Don't Panic, the technology podcast on gadgets, the internet, and you. I am Sean Jennings, joined by two guys who were quarantining at home before it was cool, Colby Rabideau and Dan Miller. We've been working remotely for like 8 years doing this.
Right.
Yeah.
We've been preparing for this the whole time.
It's every like actual podcast I hear where they're like, we're trying to do a remote episode for the first time, and I'm like, I literally was watching a show doing a Twitch stream for the first time the other day, and I was literally like, you're doing it wrong. Like I was like in the chat like telling them how to do it. It was frustrating.
Sean, this is our moment to start our podcast consultancy.
Honestly, and it's not hard, but they're like, yeah, I did it this really complicated, overthought way, and I'm like, no, it's so much easier than that. But
you gotta do the content marketing thing where you have like a blog post and you can let them like pay you like $500 for your tutorial about how to like configure that weird like multi-input like audio thing that we did that one time on my computer.
It's such a good idea. You're a smart man. But then again, I'm also the guy who's drinking Bud Light out of a coffee mug. So who am I to tell people how to live their life? What's good with you folks? What's the word? I want this to be a complete bummer.
Yeah. I honestly like the first week of work. So I'm going into my third week of working from home. And the first week started on Wednesday and it was pretty unpleasant. But like the second week it's kind of okay. So I'm pretty curious to see how I feel after this week. Like I don't hate it so far.
Okay.
And like the funny thing is like almost all of my activities, like the things that I do with people, translate like pretty well to the internet. Like I've been playing board games with people on the internet. I've been doing yoga on the internet. I don't know.
How has that been working out? How's the remote workout? I did my first remote workout class this weekend. It was actually kind of in some ways my first workout class ever, actually. But what did you think?
Honestly, I don't hate it. Like, one, I have more. I have more. My apartment is small, but like I have more space in my apartment to do yoga than I do in like a crowded yoga studio because you're like packed in next to people, and it's scary. And it's just on Zoom. I don't know. And the teacher can like see you and like gives you like input still. So like that's cool.
Is this through the same studio you were going to before?
Yeah, they just converted everything to online. Or not everything, but they have like some number of classes online. I don't know. It's not bad. I would consider continuing to do yoga.
Yeah, well, I would think of all the workouts, that's definitely a good one you can do at home.
Yeah. And like there's stuff like at the place they have like there are like blocks and like pillow things that they use sometimes, but like it's fine. I'm totally fine with this. That's just me.
Now, how do you think that? Because prior to this, my understanding was that Zoom was a thing that tech companies used. How did? Because again, I was on vacation for 2 weeks, so I feel like I'm a week behind everyone else. How did everyone switch from Skype and FaceTime and to a lesser extent Google Hangouts to Zoom? Like, when did that happen? Schools are using Zoom. How did schools find out about Zoom?
It went viral. Yeah. It's like it became whoever's in marketing at Zoom like did their job too well. Because it's become like the brand, the face of Corona working remotely. And I have no idea how that happened.
Yeah, I don't know either. Like, all of a sudden, like, I've 2 jobs ago, we used Zoom. That was our video thing. And, like, I know about Zoom, like Robin integrates with Zoom, so I'm like aware of Zoom as a thing, but I didn't know, like all of a sudden people who don't work at like corporations with big offices know what Zoom is, and I don't know how that happened.
It's
I didn't
strange.
tell anyone about it. I don't. It's not something I talk about.
But I also think that if you wanted to have a free, easy to join, multiple participant video call, what is a better platform? Because Skype really, you have to have usernames and call each other. FaceTime is iOS only. I guess like Google Hangout maybe.
Yeah, I think the Zoom code, you have the link, you have the code. That makes it way easier to use.
Yeah, it's pretty, because I'm just trying to think of like their paid competitors, like a GoToMeeting or something like that. They usually have very limited free use, so I think that's working. I would love to know how many of these Zoom people are paying for it. For all we know, Zoom is going bankrupt on costs because nobody's paying them.
Well, I mean, I have to imagine, just based off of the schools alone, although maybe it would be nice if they're giving to the schools for free. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I was like, it'd be nice. I have to imagine typically you make a lot of money off of education, but that might be in bad taste. I don't know.
Oh, but
I don't know how to reconcile capitalism with our current situation.
Well, the issue is, I mean, school budgeting takes so long to happen that even if schools wanted to pay for Zoom, it's like, you know, I don't know. They work on such a limited budget.
Yeah.
So, well, that's good. Making the best of being stuck at home. Are you now, Colby? Are you doing like food delivery? Like, have you literally not left the house at all?
I went to the grocery store last week.
How was that?
It was fine. It was weird. It was like a little uncomfortable because like no one wants to be near each other, but like it's too small a grocery store to like not, like it's just not possible to not be within 6 feet of anyone ever.
Mm-hmm.
So that was it was a little weird, but like mostly it was regular, except there were random things that just aren't there, like Italian meats. Like there was no like prosciutto or pepperoni or like that whole section totally cleaned out. There was not a lot of meats in general. There was toilet paper and paper towels.
Ooh,
crazy!
Wow.
Put that stuff up on eBay, man.
Yeah,
Probably
no
could have
hand
traded
soap,
that
though.
for some Italian meats.
Right. That's a go on Facebook Marketplace or something. Like, hey,
We'll
I have
trade
4
toilet
rolls of
paper
toilet
for
paper.
your Italian meats. That is not going to end well. I tried to get frozen corn. They were out of frozen. I was making corn chowder. They were out of frozen corn at the store.
Weird. Did they have fresh corn?
The recipe called for frozen corn. I didn't think to look for fresh corn. Corn's out of
You could've frozen it
season. I mean,
yourself.
it's March. I'd be surprised, but
Oh yeah, that's true.
but
That's
nonetheless,
pretty
no, I didn't even consider that. Frozen is just so much. But they were completely out of frozen vegetables. Period. Of all
Yeah.
shapes and sizes.
I was talking to my dad before the show tonight, and he said, "You should on the show tonight. You should tell everyone it's okay to panic."
Well, it's the one time the name of the show applies. Finally, guys, we're ready
Right.
for this. So,
Finally relevant.
are we taking a poll? Are we officially panicking?
I would just like to say before we take that poll that I think this was the best show opener monologue that you've ever had.
Well, I don't normally do it for this show. That's what's funny is like for the last like 2 or 3 years, I do it in post. I do it later. But this one, I was like, you know, guys, we gotta jump right on this. We gotta be upfront with the folks. You know, when they're listening to this, 50 years from now as an archival record, we really have to set the tone. We got to set us in place and time.
Yeah.
Now, have you two found anything fun or unusual or interesting that you've done over the internet over the past couple weeks?
Well, Colby's probably better answer this because if I'm being honest, my life has not changed one bit at all.
That's
in
nice.
any way. Because a combination of I still go to work every day. I didn't really leave my house that often before. And I still go to the store. I went to an open house this past weekend. It's like I'm still doing stuff like
Are you going to become a real estate mogul or something? What's going on over there?
honestly, it was so awkward. I got to tell you this story because I was the first person to show up, and the realtor was like standing. I went to walk up to the realtor, who was standing outside, and he goes, "Don't come within 6 feet of me." And so he's like shouting at me. He's like, "What's your name?" He's got like a logbook. He's Sean. Okay, he writes it in. And your phone number, and he writes it in. He goes, "All right, well, you can just go in the house. There's hand sanitizer in the house. Just don't come near me." It was very strange. It was very strange. So people are taking it seriously, but no, I haven't really changed anything. Or I finally got around to watching the second season of Barry. That was like really the highlight of my life.
Cool.
The grill came out. I've been grilling. I mean, like literally, I don't know what to tell you.
Grilling's good.
Grilling is great. Grilling's great, and I will tease at Sean Jennings on Instagram. I live streamed some grilling this past weekend.
I saw it.
And I may, if there's interest, stream making corn chowder tomorrow night.
Ooh.
It's an easy recipe, very delicious. Got bacon, potatoes, corn, creamy goodness.
Frozen corn?
If I have to go to the store tomorrow and see if they've got more in. If not, we're good. It's hard to make corn chowder without the corn, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Corn chowder without the corn. That should be the name of the episode.
Is that a thing that you would normally do, Sean? Or were you live streaming because you figured that there would be a lot of people sitting around on Instagram?
You know what it is? I think I just saw a lot of... I've seen more people posting a lot recently, and I think it just inspired me to be more socially active.
That's cool.
I think... Yeah, and I have been posting just in general, I think, more dumb crap.
Some cute cat pictures.
Cat pictures, yeah, being in the office late, just whatever's going on.
Nice.
Colby, have you found anything fun or interesting to do on the internet?
No. Oh, so I mentioned before I've been playing board games on the internet. There's this thing on Steam, the game thing,
right?
Called Tabletop Simulator. That is
now. Is this like Farm Simulator except you are playing board games?
Yeah. So it is a virtual environment for simulating a real life board game experience.
Oh my god!
It is ridiculous. It is probably one of the it's so kludgy. It's literally like there's a table. I'm gonna share a link in our chat. I don't know. Did you guys find it?
Wait, can you play mini golf in Tabletop Simulator?
Maybe. I don't know. But so you get this program, and it's basically just like it's a game, but it's a room, and you move around the room with like WASD, and like there's a table, and like you can download like games, and it's literally like just the board game, and you pick up things with your mouse and move it, and like it's really,
my god,
it's really silly. It took us like 2 hours to figure out how to use this program to play to like play a game. But then once we got going, it was like surprisingly fun. It was I wouldn't say just as fun as playing a board game in real life, but like it was 78% as fun.
What games did you play?
Well, we were playing Scythe, which I think we've talked about on the show before. But it's super weird. It's very strange.
I thought for 5 seconds, like, maybe in this time of crisis I should, like, get a PlayStation or something. And I said, no, that's exactly the wrong thing. The economy is collapsing.
That's exactly what they want you to do.
I'm trying to be fiscally sensitive.
Yeah. I definitely haven't bought any dumb stuff while I've been sitting at home on my couch. Like Tabletop Simulator for 20 years.
I hope that's sarcasm.
Yes, it is. I don't know, man.
Colby, are any of the cocktail places near you doing to-go cocktails?
No, I wish they were. There is one place that I follow on Instagram that is doing like supplies. So all of the non-alcohol stuff, like you can apparently get like all the ingredients for like one of their cocktails, and then you can go to the liquor store next door and they'll give you like the booze for it.
Nice. That's a good idea.
Yeah, which is cool. It's too far for me to go to now, but that's what they're doing. It seems nice. Maybe I can order it online. I don't know.
Yeah, there have
But-
been a bunch of places doing that, but I haven't managed to luck into ordering any yet.
I want it to go a cocktail. I would brave the desolate streets to.
Well, here's the thing: some of them they'll even deliver it to you.
Oh my god!
It's amazing. So I'm excited. I'm to look at silver linings. I'm excited to see like whether it's cocktail bars or elementary schools or colleges or ancient workplaces. All of like what will things be like 2 years from now because of this? For the better. It's going to be interesting.
No,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Does it,
Well, I was thinking, as both of you have probably heard me talk about at some point or another, like when I was looking at new jobs, when I was in searching for new jobs, I considered like remote jobs, and what I've come down to, much like every other time I've thought about this, is like I just don't know. I feel like I'll die if I do fully remote, but now I have to do it. So like maybe coming out of this, I'll have a real answer to that question. Like, could I just work remote?
Or will you lose your mind?
Right. Or will I wither?
Well, I was just because it's interesting to me, but I was thinking about movie theaters and movies now that they're a week after being in theaters, they're putting them on streaming or straight to streaming. And I'm curious what the impact of that will be on movies moving forward. That's always something they've hesitated to do.
yeah, there have been a bunch of movies I'm not familiar about. I don't know when they came out in theaters, but didn't some movies just recently come out in theaters or were about to come out in theaters that have instead been released on streaming? Hasn't that already happened?
Well, I'm trying to think of what the standard. It's like a 6-month delay almost between a movie in theater and
Right.
a movie on demand.
The Star Wars just came out, and that was in theaters in December. So you're now able to buy that.
Oh, but you're even faster because what is it? Sonic the Hedgehog, which was in theaters late January, I think, is going to be available next week. Onward, which was in theaters at the beginning of
That's
this
what I was
month, is going to
thinking
be on Disney. Not only it's available for purchase now, but it'll be on Disney Plus, I think the second week of April, first or second week of April. Which, by the
Now,
way, Matt Mariani already reviewed Onward, said he loved it, and it made him cry. So, there you go.
Wow. Here's a real question: when will the new Star Wars be on Disney Plus? Because
That's a good question. They haven't announced. I think they're going to wait and see how sales, because you can't even pay to rent it now. It's purchase only. Cats also, there are a few other, Invisible Man, there are a few other ones that came out pretty quickly, but they're all purchase only. Trolls World Tour basically went just to streaming.
That's the one. That's what I was thinking of.
And that was purchase only as well. So I'm sure they're going to, it's a theory of like, if you really want to see a movie, would you spend $14 on a movie ticket or $20 to buy it at home? And then you own it,
yeah.
Wouldn't you
Yeah,
like to
I
own
don't know.
cats? Watch
That's the
anytime you
dream.
like.
Now that's a movie I would only watch with people.
Yes.
With other people.
I would love to do. Can we, if I end up working from home and all three of us are working from home, can we figure out some time and place to do like a group screening of Cats? I would
Yes.
love that.
Now, is there a good way to do that? Like, is that something that modern technology affords us? Can we like all watch a Netflix movie together?
There are ways.
Yeah, Netflix specifically has like an extension or an app or some sort of thing for them.
Oh.
For more broadly, I don't know.
There's a thing called Cast that starts with a K. K-A-S-T. Cast app.
Yeah, Netflix Party, I believe, is the name of the Netflix one.
Given that this has a link on the top called Support Us on Patreon, I sure hope this isn't sponsored by Netflix.
Oof. Huh.
Yeah,
I think we should do that.
I think it'd be
What
at
should we-
least a fun thing to try.
Right, to watch Cats.
Well, we don't have to watch Cats. I just think that would be very funny.
Yeah.
Like, what?
We could reprise our college pastime of watching bad Netflix movies.
Yep. Oh, man. Well, good. Hey, I've got some non-corona related stuff.
Let's do it.
That's tech related, which is I now have through work a beautiful new MacBook Pro. The first
Whoa.
Mac computer I've ever had all my own.
Well, you have an escape key, don't you?
I have an escape key. It's the brand new model. I have the escape key. I gotta tell you guys, it is without doubt the single nicest piece of technology I've ever used. I've never owned a Mac computer before. Holy shit, is this thing nut? Like, I am legitimately, every time I pick it up, I'm like, this is really nice. There was a split second when I first was using it where I'm like, oh man, it'd be awesome to have Windows on this thing. And then I thought, you know what? No. Windows doesn't deserve this. This is too nice for Windows. Windows gets the crappy laptops it deserves. I've been having a blast.
Yeah.
I have not yet figured out the trackpad, the magic trackpad, and the the 2-level click.
Oh yeah.
And
I always forget that.
Because I've only ever used Mac with a mouse historically, and so I haven't yet figured out how to right click on things and how to drag things with the right amount of click.
2 fingers.
Is that what it is?
2 fingers is right click.
Because sometimes I've noticed if I hold it down, it will also open a right click context menu.
Oh really?
So I'm working on it. Time will tell.
Yeah, the hold it down is weird because it's not something that I use, and I always forget it's there. And once in a while, I guess I get too I don't know, a little overzealous with my clicks, and I super click, and then
yeah, I get frustrated.
I'm in a whole new world.
And I'm just clicking every combination with 8 fingers on it. Do something.
What's happening? Yeah.
That and touch bar is completely useless. Touch bar is dumb, and I have more often accidentally hit touch bar than I have intentionally meant to hit it.
Well, I think I told you guys this story when I first got a touch bar computer at work. It took me a week to learn that I had a habit of just resting my finger on the escape button, which when it was a key was fine, but when it's a touch screen, it had the effect of just holding down the escape button, so nothing worked on my computer. You'd open a window, it would close immediately. Yeah. It was so weird.
I was editing video in Premiere, and I would just be working on the keyboard and on the trackpad, and all of a sudden clips would just disappear for no reason. I'm like, what the hell is going on? What am I doing? And no, because I kept accidentally hitting the touch bar. So anyway,
don't touch the touch bar.
No touchy. I love my
no
shiny MacBook. So I'm a big fan. I wish I had won the lottery so I could buy one, because they're very nice, but it's also a $4,000 computer. So
yeah.
But you need it for your work.
Hey, look, I got them to expense it. I'm a happy camper. It's amazing. And my company, nobody has Macs. My department has Macs. Nobody has Macs. So I make sure to bring them to every meeting and open it up and look so friggin' cool. Now, of course, the issue is it's USB-C, so I can't connect to any of the projectors in any of the rooms because I don't have a dongle yet. But I do have my beautiful new computer.
dongle life. I finally on Friday or Saturday my dongle to connect my work laptop to my monitor in my bedroom has finally arrived. So I'll be able to work at a desk like
I
a
thought you were
human.
going to say work from bed.
Work from bed. No,
That's
it's
what he's
too
been doing.
my vision has deteriorated too much. I can't see the monitor from bed. It's too far.
You got to get some sunlight, buddy. I'm worried about you.
I think I brought my glasses home from work, but I'm not sure.
Oh,
Cat.
look at that! Look at that high definition tail we're getting right here.
Yeah, in your face, 3D. Careful, Hishley. Talking about cats.
Aww.
It's popping out of the screen.
Yeah, he's a little pain in
Can
the
we
ass.
watch the movie Cats with your cat?
We sure can. We sure can. He will fall asleep very quickly on my lap. Which also, and I have mentioned this in the show
Sounds
before,
alright.
but he loves the damn AirPods case. He chews on it. He finds it fascinating. He'll either chew on it or he'll do that cat thing where you just bat it off the side, and then it falls, and then the AirPods shoot out across the room. And you're getting pissed off every time.
More fun.
He always does that.
Oh.
Oh, so here's actually while we're talking about AirPods, I'm using my old AirPods because my AirPods Pro, I dropped them the other day, and now when I put them in my ear, they rattle.
Oh,
And then sometimes it goes squeak, 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 squeak.
Oh no. Sounds
It's really
like
weird.
The vibrator.
have you tried turning off your motorcycle soundtrack? Could that be playing? We cannot hear what you're saying.
Is he muted?
There he is.
Oh no!
Oh, your audio went out. You're fine now.
Yeah, here's the problem. If I play with this AirPods case, then it connects. I open it up and it connects to the iPad, and then I lose my connection. So, anyways, I hope that they fix themselves somehow, because I don't think I'll be getting new ones anytime soon.
Yeah, not really repairable, unfortunately.
No.
I got some AirPods Pro too. I like them. They're nice.
I like your pronunciation. Should we talk about, speaking of Apple things, should we talk about this iPad?
Hell yeah, let's actually do some tech news. It's been a while.
Oh my god.
And in this time when there is no tech news, Apple thankfully gave us something to talk about. What should have been a March iPad event, which would have been very exciting. Instead, we just kind of got some press releases and some videos. But nonetheless, pretty exciting. Let's just very quickly get the boring stuff out of the way first. A new MacBook Air was announced. A 16-inch. It's been a while since we've had a new one of these. Essentially, it's got the improved scissor switch keyboard. No more of those butterfly switches. It's got updated performance, 10th gen Intel Ice Lake processors, up to a quad-core i7. Better graphics as well, and twice the storage as the prior machine, all the way up to 2 terabytes when you configure it, starting at $999. There you go. Not a ton new with it. New processors, more storage, better keyboard. That's about it. Okay, we got the boring stuff out of the way. Now let's talk about the good stuff. New iPad. New iPad Pro has been updated for 2020. It's available for online order now, shipping in a couple days, actually. Both the 11-inch and 12.9-inch sizes visibly look identical to last year's. They didn't really change the design. However, there's a new processor in there. It is the A12Z Bionic chip, 8 cores in the GPU. They say it's more powerful than most Windows PC laptops, which isn't saying much, but I'm sure it's pretty darn powerful. Also, a new camera system. The headline of that is it includes a LiDAR scanner to go along with camera for depth sensing and AR. How useful that will be, time will tell, TBD. Those are really the major changes with the actual iPad itself. Battery life at 10 hours, supports Gigabit LTE, not 5G. Yeah, that's basically the idea. It's available up to 1 terabyte in storage. If you max it out completely and toss in the new keyboard, it'll cost you $2,000.
Sick.
That's how you really got to share the price. No one ever shares the bottom, like the basic price.
Right.
You got to upgrade the crap out of it.
Right.
A 12
Well, it's not
point-
like are you going to buy an iPad Pro and not get an Apple Pencil for $150? No.
It's like, why would you get an MacBook Air for $1,000 when you can get a 1 terabyte 12.9-inch iPad Pro with the keyboard for $2,000?
Right. Such a deal.
And this one you can touch. But the hardware of the iPad was not the exciting part. It was its accessory that really changes the game here. The new Magic Keyboard. Yes, a keyboard attachment. You're saying, Sean, that's not a big deal. They've had sort of keyboard attachments before. This one's very exciting. First of all, it has a hinge that allows you to adjust the viewing angle. It kind of hangs your iPad up there in the air at various angles. It's also got a extra USB-C port on it, but I'm bearing the lead here. It has a trackpad. You're saying, what? A trackpad? Yeah, it's pretty exciting. It uses the smart connector on the iPad. It will work with the new iPad Pro and the last generation of iPad Pro as well. The hinge allows it to be adjusted to 130 degrees, or adjusted throughout 130 degrees, I should say, so you have a lot of different angles. I mentioned the USB port. The smart keyboard has the scissor mechanism design that's also backlit. The trackpad as well, which we'll talk about that support in a second. The keyboard will not come cheap. It's going to cost you $299 for the 11-inch model and $349 for the 12.9-inch model. Those are available starting in May.
I think this is one of the first times that some iOS accessory has come out that's compatible with the last version of a product. The battery cases, the pencils, all that stuff, the various keyboards that the iPads have had have all been unique to the newest version.
Well, I think as soon as you standardize that smart connector, because it moved around in a couple of models from when it was first introduced, so it's kind of like Lightning, where it's like once you really finalize its position, then I would hope the accessories remain compatible. It's interesting to me that it's not Bluetooth, because I don't know if you need any sort of special, because you don't. So it's powered through the smart connector. That's really the difference, because I don't think you would need it for the speed of connectivity.
Well, except that there is that USB-C port on it.
Well, right. So that's the second. That's exactly what you're getting by using the smart connector. You're 100% right.
Right. The third heat.
The third kind of heat.
I'm excited about the hinge.
The hinge.
It looks cool.
It looks
I
insane.
used the iPad exclusively for 2 weeks on vacation, and the hinge was the thing I missed. Like, that really does piss you off after a while. At least it pissed me off.
I mean, honestly, the iPad Pro on this dock is one of the best looking laptops I've ever seen. Like, it just looks good.
Yeah.
I will quickly add before we talk about what trackpad and mouse supports mean to iPad, that iPadOS 13.4 is the update that's going to add mouse and trackpad support. It will be available. Apple says trackpads and mice will be available for any iPad running iPadOS 3.14, Apple's Magic Mouse 2, Magic Trackpad 2, and even third-party mice or trackpads connected over Bluetooth or USB will support the feature. As well, iPadOS 13.4 will be available tomorrow.
Ooh.
And so I don't know if you guys have seen any of the videos or the mock-ups of exactly what it looks like. It's not a...
You know what else I'm excited for? Sorry, is the keyboard's backlit.
Yes.
That's another huge problem. If you're trying to use it on a plane that's in night mode and you don't want to turn your big honking light on, having especially because the keyboard is a little bit different than you're used to, having a backlight is great.
Yes.
Although this one isn't a little bit different than you're used to, I guess.
Yeah, I'm curious how the keyboard feels, because there's not a lot of depth to it. So I'm curious how the keys actually feel. It's got 1 millimeter of key travel, which I don't know how that compares to like a MacBook Air or something similar.
It doesn't have an escape button at all.
Nope, this ain't your daddy's keyboard.
I don't know.
So what do we think?
Weird. I think it's cool. I'm
Yeah,
totally
I'm
going to
excited.
download this and install and try it with my trackpad on my iPad tomorrow.
Yeah, that's what's great.
Yeah.
Is you don't need a new iPad to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see a reason to upgrade my iPad, but I would totally get this new keyboard.
So I've always said that, and you guys have been a little more cavalier about it than I have in terms of iPad as a laptop replacement or as a full-time work computer, full-time computer. I would say before this announcement, the iPad Pro for me was like at a 60% viability, and this takes it up to like a 75-80% viability. I still don't buy the file system. I still don't think it's better. I don't think it's really good enough to be used full time, but I have always struggled with iOS cursor selection, and I just think the ability to have the option for a trackpad opens up a world of possibility that brings it so much closer to it's funny, it's become circular, really, hasn't it? Where we had computers, then it was tablets, they're not computers. Now it's like, no, tablets, they are computers.
They're not computers, but also...
That's the Apple's advertising for this is your next computer is not a computer, is sort of the line they're using. And it's, it is really interesting. I don't know. I would love to buy one of these if, again, I had too much money.
Right. Suddenly a problem that no one has.
But it's like, I just think, like I said, I just got a MacBook, right? And I'm like, could I have gotten instead an iPad Pro with the attachment and all that in its place? And I'm like, kind of?
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff you could do, but it's like a big thing I do on my laptop is I edit video in Premiere.
Oh, in Premiere? There's no Adobe Premiere for...
There is, but it's kind of a limited thing, and it's like, but then it's like, well, okay, how do you get video? You got to get an adapter, and then hope you can get the video files onto the iPad, and I'm sure it's possible, but it seems kind of hoops jumpy. You know what I mean?
Right. Isn't more stuff works over USB-C now? Is that true? Like you can plug a bunch of stuff into it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
they've opened that up a lot. Again, getting closer every time they do one of these updates.
Right. Now, does this mean with the keyboard thing, you'd have two USB-C plugs?
Yes, the one on the iPad itself, and one in the keyboard.
That's pretty nice.
Can you charge it through the one in the keyboard? Do you know?
I believe so. Let me double check the announcement here, but I believe so. There's also a USB-C port built into the keyboard that can be used for charging the iPad.
That's crazy.
So this is great if you do have the dongles and the other things taking up your ports.
The dongles. Kind of neat. A little surprising. I was not thinking about iPads the other day.
Now you're thinking about them all the time.
Yeah.
So I mean to think about. But my question is, I get why you would buy a laptop over this. There's arguments to be made both ways, but I get why would anyone buy like a Surface over this? To me, that's like, I feel like this now that's what you're like blowing out of the water. Even if you're a Windows user, you're like, at that point, get a laptop, because this thing is so competitive now with the trackpad and the keyboard.
Yeah. I mean, there's the business market. There's always going to be lots of Surface purchases there. I don't see that many people who it looks like they bought their computer using the Surfaces.
True.
So that's my take. I don't think anyone's choosing to buy a Surface. I think they're thankful that that's what they can get at their job. It's better than an HP whatever the hell computer.
Let me ask you guys, right? Because you live in major metropolitan areas.
With tons of people around that I see all the time.
Exactly. like if you go to like a Starbucks, like what computers are people, what technology are people using to do stuff? Like, or like if you went to a library or something, like I'm not thinking like on a train where they're moving or something, but like where they're actually sitting and doing stuff. What are people using? I don't actually know because I don't go outside, as I mentioned earlier.
I feel like there are a lot of laptops around me.
Yeah.
I live near a lot of students, though, so.
But is it like mostly MacBooks you see, or is it kind of a mix?
I think it's a mix. I feel like I see a lot of like Windows laptops that look like MacBooks.
Fair.
Ultrabooks, that's what they're called.
Yes. Long live the Ultrabook.
In my in Brooklyn, it was almost always MacBooks, sometimes iPads, rarely Windows. But what you'd see more often than iPads or Windows would be a really, really old MacBook. One of those like
Oh, the plastic ones?
white. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Bring it back.
Absolutely. Or one of those like clearly very old like titanium MacBook Pros. You see those around, still kicking it. Some poor novelist making it work on that.
That's awesome. Yeah. No, I'm just curious because it's like, we talk about these things on the show and, oh, they're cool, they're shiny, they're new, but it's like, who actually buys them? Who actually uses them? Like, I know a ton of people who have iPads. They seem very popular. My mom has been an exclusive iPad user for 5 years, 6 years, a long time. But how many people are actually, like, buying 12.9-inch iPad Pros and are going to buy this keyboard and use it as a package?
Well, my girlfriend did not because she uses it. That is the thing. She has like the very first 12-inch iPad. That is the computer she uses at home, but she also uses at work for like any time that she would print out something and write notes on it. She can do that on the iPad with the pencil and then email it to the person, which is way more intuitive than like, all right, open it up in Microsoft Word, highlight the thing, and click comment, and then like delete this and like add this, and you get this jumble of like deleted one character, added a comma, and it's like 2 spaces added. So like I think I don't think it's not possible for everyone to do their entire job on an iPad right now. I think it's possible for some people to do their entire job, but I also think if everyone could use an iPad at their job, they would use it for some things over their laptop.
Well, you just got me thinking. I remember a few years ago, and they've backed off of it. HP was really big on this for a while, where they were really pitching the idea of the all-in-one desktop computer like you were supposed to have like on your kitchen counter. Remember that for a little while? Where it was like, it's the family hub was the whole thing, and it never really took off. But I'm like, this is a great like kiosk-type device where you have one sitting on a counter, or you have one sitting around, and now that you have the touch, you have the keyboard, you have the trackpad, you have a really great multi-function device. It's got a good screen size. To me, that's compelling.
I would kill for a permanent kitchen iPad that never leaves. Oh, it'd be so useful.
That was
I don't know about you, but I've been doing a lot more cooking.
I would just use it to order takeout.
There you go. You can replace your fridge.
just a big... Sean, where'd your fridge go? Just an iPad mounted on the wall. Same thing.
I don't know if the two of you remember this, but many years ago, I had an iPad that was like magnetically attached to my fridge.
It wasn't like an original iPad. That thing was old then.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't the original. It was the iPad, Sean, that you and I whatever generation you and I tried to go to the mall in Springfield or something. Yeah, and then we didn't get it.
I still go to that Apple store. Great Apple store.
Yeah, that was the one. But yeah, I stuck it to my fridge. It was great, except you couldn't really charge it on the fridge.
Never think those things through.
Yeah, details.
Awesome. So, there you go. Some fun stuff to spend a bunch of your money on. I think it's cool. I will say it is kind of a bummer that there wasn't an event we could watch them demo it at. Like this is really the first time where I'm like, you know what? As much as I complained, like, oh, nothing interesting happened at these events, like, there is something to the salesmanship of it.
I feel like they should have at least done something. Like, they should have done the event remote, or like just like Tim Cook in his living room or something.
Well, that's
I'd
what
love
I
to see Tim Cook's living room.
Can you imagine?
Well, they've already announced WWDC is all remote this year, and I have a feeling that this will be a part of the iOS 14 announcement, even though it's an existing feature. I think this will make some amount of an appearance, and I think they're just going to wait for that, is my guess.
Fair.
But who knows?
Fair.
Any other tech stuff you guys want to talk about? There really wasn't a lot of news. I mean, there was news, but it was mostly like, this is shut down, or this is changing, or, yeah, that kind of stuff, unfortunately.
Right.
Yeah, I'm good.
Great. Well, let's chug ahead to picks, the part of the show where we just bring something we want to share with the world, something we've been enjoying. And we have got quite an eclectic mix this week. We'll go down the list in order. I'll jump in and go first. This was just a fun, goofy thing I thought I would chuck in because we're all stuck at home and trying to get a virtual glimpse into the real world. And as you can see by my beer mug, I'm a big fan of the Houston Zoo. It's a great zoo. If you're ever in Houston, go to the Houston Zoo. They have animals. And so they, on their website at houstonzoo.org, they have webcams, really nice live webcams. The quality's actually really good on these. They've got a giraffe cam, they have a chimp cam, they have an elephant cam, an ant cam. They only stream during the day, so sorry, midnight folks, you can't watch now. But if you're just bored and looking for something to have up on your second monitor or just something to look at, check out. And a lot of zoos have live webcams, so it's not only Houston Zoo. I just like Houston Zoo because I was there, and they're good quality cameras. But, just Google, live webcams, and who knows, maybe you'll find something fun to watch. Or not, and I don't care. Dan.
Yeah.
You've got a product from what may be my favorite company on the planet. What do you got this week?
Ooh.
Oh yeah, so more cooking, and we went to this cooking class a while ago, or actually just a knife skills class, and the person introduced us to these OXO Good Grips multi-purpose scraper and choppers. Basically a big plastic handle and then a big flat piece of metal. I've never used it for anything except scraping. Apparently it's useful for dough, but here's what you do.
Mm-hmm.
You chop up a bunch of stuff on your cutting board, right? Then what you do is if you don't care about your knives, you use the knife edge of your knife and you scrape it down to the pot. If you do care about it, you turn your knife upside down, you scrape it by that end. It's a little dangerous. It never works. You're always like, shit, there's still a little bit more on there. I'm scraping. This thing, you put it on there, and it all just comes right off, like ripping off a Band-Aid. It's just, it's all that stuff that's on that cutting board is coming off, and it's going. Or here's the other thing you can do. Chop on the ground. Grab your little scraper, grab your hand, whoop, it all goes on the scraper, and then you pick it up and you dump it in the pot. All of the scraper. It's amazing. It's $10. It ships in 6 weeks right now.
Is it sharp?
So
Oof.
the bottom is not particularly sharp. I think that's why, you could probably cut dough with it, or butter, but you couldn't cut a vegetable with it.
Right. Or your finger, I
No.
guess is what I was asking about. Cool.
It's stainless steel blade, it says, but I don't. It's not that.
Blade is a strong word.
Yeah. Yeah, it show. They literally only show it cutting butter and dough. So
Great for soft things. This is awesome. Did I ever tell you the story of how I got my scraper?
no.
It's not that exciting. So I don't watch daytime TV ever because I'm at work and don't have a life. But I just so happened one day randomly, I was flipping around, or I was walked in a room, I don't remember what it was, and the Rachel Ray show was on. And literally, I caught about 30 seconds of it, and that 30 seconds was Rachel Ray cooking something, and she goes, "Oh, and I have my scooper here." And it was a Rachel Ray branded scooper. So the difference between that and this is it has sides on it, so it's more like a shovel.
Ooh.
And I swear to God, I was like, this has never happened before. I stopped what I was doing, I went on my phone, and I bought one. And I love my Rachel Ray scooper. Now, I'm curious about chopping, because this one doesn't really have a blade for chopping. It's really only for scooping. But it is so nice, especially when you're chopping like different vegetables. You're making soup or something that has different kinds of vegetables in it. To be able to chop and scoop, chop and scoop, chop and scoop, I'm a big fan.
It sounds pretty
Yeah,
nice.
it's amazing.
This is great. And OXO, man. OXO? Is that how you say it?
OXO. That's how I've said it. I don't know if I've
It
ever heard
makes
anyone
sense.
else say it.
Also,
It adds up.
I think someone should take, because I noticed there's the OXO one for $10, but there's the Amazon Basics stainless steel bowl scraper chopper for $5.90. I think someone should take the challenge, get both. Let us know.
In my experience, the OXO stuff, it makes a difference that it's
Oh
OXO.
my God. I don't know how people lived before.
What? Amazon is telling me I purchased this item once.
That is such an Amazon thing where it's like, oh yeah, 3 years ago I bought this. I knew.
No. It says you purchased this item December 9th, 2015.
Whoa, did you?
So long ago.
Was
Maybe
that
I
one
like
of those,
gave
like,
December 9th is my sister's birthday. Maybe I got it for her or something.
You'll have to
If that's when you
investigate.
purchased it, so that would have been a late present.
Maybe
True.
early Christmas?
It could be early Christmas.
Oh, what a mystery.
Wow. I don't know. I mean, it's in my order history, so
But you didn't get to use it. Tragic.
I'm pretty sure I don't have one.
I'm just going to go in the kitchen, open a drawer, look in the back. It's all the way in the back of the drawer. Oh, no.
Maybe it got lost in a move or something.
Yeah, things like this tend to disappear. I'm sure it's very popular. Everyone was scooping it from your house.
Right.
That's awesome. We'll have a link to that on the website if people want to go check it out. Colby. What are you watching?
Westworld.
It's not very west anymore, is it? It's more
No,
just
it
like
is.
regular world.
There's been no West. No West in this world. Yeah, season 3, though, it started. I haven't watched the second episode yet. I might do that after tonight. I forgot it was a thing I could do. But the first episode was, like, pretty good. And, like, I'm excited. People are excited. People, my Westworld podcast that I listened to, they were excited and they were disappointed with season 2. So, like, they're pretty tough critics, I think. I don't know. It's been interesting so far. The guy from Breaking Bad is in it.
Everyone's favorite, Aaron Paul.
Right, Aaron Paul. Ron Paul. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say. If you don't like Westworld, you shouldn't watch it because you probably won't like it.
Hey, get some money's worth out of that HBO subscription, Westworld season 3. And hey, we'll give a plug, Decoding Westworld as well, the podcast, which is I am also when I was watching Westworld, I was a big fan of it.
Yes, they're still going.
That they are.
They met their Kickstarter goal.
Very good, unlike us, who didn't bother to try.
Yeah.
All right, guys, anything else going on you want to talk about? No.
I got nothing.
Well, I, as always, will use the end of the show to plug what's going on over at Up for Debate, because we are about to wrap up March Madness, which is our theme month, where Matt got to choose all of the topics of all the episodes for the month. We did a whole episode on yo-yos at the beginning of the month. We did an episode which was hilarious, where we looked into the For Dummies book series. And it turns out there are a lot of very funny For Dummies books, including, and I'll just spoil one of them, which is Doing Business in India for Dummies. And we read some Amazon reviews of the book. It was a really fun episode. And what I can tease is that Matt and I bought each other books. Now, we say in the episode what they are. I won't spoil it yet. But I have my book. Matt has his. And this week, we're going to actually talk about what we learned from our For Dummies books. which should be a lot of fun. And then up on the feed right now, this past week, and this is a true story, and you guys will appreciate this, Matt and I recorded an entire hour-long episode about coronavirus, but we also talked about some other it was kind of a loose episode. We talked about random stuff. It was a really good episode. We had a nice time. We talked about IKEA and some other fun stuff. But about halfway through the episode,
company?
IKEA?
Oh, IKEA.
just Kia?
Yeah, I was like, that's weird.
Halfway
But
through the
never put anything
episode,
past Matt.
my cat stepped on the power button of my computer, which didn't shut down my computer because I was able to stop it before he did. However, it did corrupt the recording, and so we lost the entire hour after we had done the whole thing. So, emergency, we threw that away. We scrapped that and instead spent 40 minutes playing Sporkle quizzes online. It is a fun time. We had a lot of fun. Matt and I try to name every single Walt Disney animated movie. It is a lot harder than it sounds. We do a few others as well. So check it out up for debate.tv. March Madness has been a big success, so Matt gets a lot of props for that.
Wow.
A wild success.
Wait, what button could your cat have stepped
That's
on?
what everyone keeps asking me. So on my desktop, the way my case is designed is the top of the desktop, the big chunky desktop. The top front lip is where it's a big button. It's about the size of $50. It's perfectly designed for a cat to step on. And the thing is, so what he does is when I kick him off the top of the desk, he lays on top of the desktop with his paw on top of the button. I knew it was going to happen someday. I just didn't think it would happen during a show. So I'm literally in the middle of it, and all of a sudden my screen goes blue like it does in Windows. It says shutting down with the little swirling thing. I'm like, no! And I'm hitting escape, and yeah. So he was a bad boy. He was not good. He screwed us up. So I got to the end of it, and I'm like, Matt, we didn't get any of that.
Agent of Chaos.
But we made the best of it. It was a lot of fun. Matt's enjoying his time off as well, so all is good in the world as far as we're concerned. Don'tPanic.io is our website. Go there, check out the audio and the video and the pics as well. The links will be there for you to enjoy. We're available wherever you get podcasts. Make sure to subscribe. Video version on YouTube as well. And of course, you can follow us at Don't Panic Show on Twitter and email us don'tpanicshow@gmail.com. We're going to be back next week. Will there be news? Who knows? But it doesn't matter because we're locked in our homes, so we'll definitely be here. On behalf of Colby and Dan, I'm Sean. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time for another fantastic episode of Don't Panic.